There's a strange paradox in modern love. A man spends months, sometimes years, trying to win her heart. He listens, cares, stays consistent, and finally, she chooses him. The chase ends, the tension dissolves, and suddenly, she changes. The same woman who once couldn't go a day without hearing his voice now seems distant. The texts slow down, the excitement fades. The spark that once burned so bright turns into quiet indifference. He asks himself, what did I do wrong? But the truth, the dark, psychological truth, is deeper than that. Attraction is not built on comfort. It's built on tension. When a woman first meets a man, her emotions dance between curiosity and uncertainty. Who is he? What does he want? Can I trust him? These questions create a psychological storm, a cocktail of excitement, mystery, and danger that fuels attraction. But when commitment enters the picture, something subtle shifts. The unknown becomes known, the mystery becomes predictable. And the same emotional fire that drew her in begins to cool. Not because she stopped loving him, but because her psychological need for emotional stimulation was met, and then gone. You see, the female mind is wired for emotional connection, but also for growth. In the early stages, every gesture, every word, every glance is new data. She's reading, analyzing, feeling. But once she understands everything about you, when she knows how you'll react, what you'll say, how you'll behave, her subconscious starts to feel safe. And while safety sounds like a good thing, it kills the emotional uncertainty that fuels attraction. Safety brings peace, but peace without challenge brings boredom. Men often misunderstand this. They think that once they've won her, the work is done. They stop flirting, they stop leading, they stop being the man who once intrigued her. They become predictable, emotionally, mentally, physically, and predictability is the silent assassin of attraction. The truth is, women don't lose interest because they got commitment. They lose interest because you stopped being the man she committed to. In the beginning, you were unpredictable. You had your own world, your own goals. You were a little mysterious. You didn't reply instantly. You didn't need her validation. You had a life that existed beyond her, and that made her crave being a part of it. But once she became the center of your world, she felt something shift. The energy reversed. She stopped chasing and you started seeking. And deep down, her instincts whispered, if he's chasing me now, maybe I was chasing an illusion before. Attraction isn't logical, it's psychological. A woman doesn't wake up one day and decide to lose interest. Her emotions fade slowly through subtle shifts she can't even explain. When she feels too secure, she subconsciously tests you. To feel your strength again, to feel that you're still the man she once respected. And if those tests break you, if you react emotionally, beg for reassurance, or try to fix things through words, she feels even less attraction. Because attraction isn't built on comfort or verbal promises, it's built on energy, on masculine composure. There's an ancient Stoic truth that says, the more you try to control what is not yours, the more you lose control of yourself. And nowhere is that truer than in relationships. The moment a man tries to control a woman's feelings, he loses his own balance. He becomes reactive instead of grounded, emotional instead of composed, needy instead of free. And that's when attraction dies, not because she's cruel or ungrateful, but because nature designed desire to move towards strength, not need. When a woman loses interest, she's not rejecting love. She's rejecting stagnation. She wants to feel something again. And when you stop being the source of emotional gravity, her mind starts to wander, not necessarily toward another man, but toward the memory of how you used to make her feel. She craves the polarity that once existed, the space between your calm and her chaos, your direction and her emotion. Without that polarity, the relationship becomes symmetrical, two people sharing comfort but not attraction. Here's the truth most men never hear. Women are not addicted to love. They're addicted to the feeling of falling in love. That feeling is motion, not stillness. It's the uncertainty, the anticipation, the pull. But once commitment becomes a routine, that feeling fades unless the man continues to bring depth, challenge, and growth into the relationship. She doesn't want constant drama. She wants emotional stimulation. A man who can make her feel alive, even in calmness. But this doesn't mean you must play games or act cold. It means you must live from purpose. The moment your life revolves around her, you lose the polarity that drew her to you in the first place. Because what truly attracts a woman is not a man who ignores her, but a man who is so complete within himself that her presence is a choice, not a need. Commitment should never mean dependency. It should mean two complete people choosing each other daily, not completing each other once and stopping there. Most men never recover from this stage because they take her fading interest personally. They think she doesn't love me anymore. But the truth is, love is still there. It's just buried under predictability. She doesn't need more gifts, more texts, or more attention. She needs to feel your masculine presence again. The same quiet confidence that made her heart race in the beginning. Not the words, not the flattery, the energy. A man anchored in self-respect doesn't chase when she pulls away. He observes, he reflects. He focuses back on his path, his mission, his body, his mind. Because attraction can't survive where a man abandons himself. You don't rekindle a woman's interest by trying harder. You rekindle it by becoming harder to shake. The man who cannot be emotionally broken by withdrawal becomes magnetic again. Remember this, when she loses interest, it's not a cue to beg and it's a mirror. It's showing you how far you've drifted from the man she fell for. A woman's fading attraction is nature's way of testing a man's evolution. Will he collapse into emotion or rise into purpose? Every time you react to her pulling away, you teach her you've lost your center. Every time you remain grounded, you remind her of what she's drawn to. That rare calmness most men can't hold. Commitment is not the end of attraction. It's the beginning of a new challenge, and the challenge of staying unpredictable in depth, not behavior. The challenge of keeping your individuality alive, of making her feel safe but still curious, loved but still inspired. Because attraction isn't about distance, it's about dynamic energy. When she feels your presence evolving, her emotions evolve too. When she sees you still chasing growth, she chases you again. The truth about why women lose interest after commitment isn't dark, it's human. It's a reminder that love is not a possession, it's a dance. A balance between certainty and curiosity, between comfort and excitement. A man who understands this stops seeing her fading interest as rejection. He sees it as feedback, a message from the universe to return to his strength. Because the moment he does, she feels it, and slowly, she remembers the man who once moved her soul without saying a word. So if you feel her slipping away, don't chase, don't argue, don't try to prove your worth. Return to your path, to your discipline, to your peace. Let your silence become the message. Let your composure remind her of what she's losing. Because the truth is, she never fell in love with your attention. She fell in love with your presence. And when you return to that presence, she'll feel it again.